Hi peers and instructor, how are you? My name is Fernando Gonzalez and I'm going to explain and to talk a bit about the for each and for loops in PHP. First of all, what is a loop? Well, often when you write code, you want the same block of code to run over and over again a certain number of times. So instead of adding several almost equal code lines in a script, you can use and we can use loops. In W3 schools, we read that loops are used to execute the same block of code again and again, as long as a certain condition is true. And some of these loop types are for and for each. The for loops through a block of code at a specific number of times, and the for each loops through a block of code for each element in an array. Why should we use it? Well, I think the answer is that we can iterate from a string, for example, a string of text, numbers, objects, and multidimensional arrays. From my viewpoint, this is one of the most used and useful tools in any programming language. And without them, we would have to manually access the elements, property, or sub arrays, I don't know, on a database one by one. And I think that we don't want this because we will probably will be working with very large arrays and very large and robust databases. How do they work? Let's start with the for. First I want to say that we have in the syntax is three parameters. The first is the counter, where we can start it mm, at 0, for example, and then I am starting the for loop in 0 in my example. And this parameter is the one that is evaluated against the condition, which is the second parameter. We could say that this is a condition because the third parameter says that the counter will increment while the counter uh, is less, in this case, than 11. So this is a condition. Every time the counter is evaluated, if the condition is not fulfilled, it will increment. And between the brackets is a code line that we want the loops to make or to do. In this case is to echo or print this line painting number, the number in the for loops. So let's see. Okay, this is the result for this example. So you can see that it starts in 0 and the counter is incrementing over and over again until the condition is fulfilled. And the condition is that the counter need to be less than 11. I have here another example, and this is an array, the fruit array, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements into the array. So in this case, we use the count function that returns the number of elements in the array. So the counter will increase until the variable x is equal to or greater than the number of elements into the array, and it will print the element in into in the array. So let's see the example how it works. And this is the result. As we can see, it has printed each element inside the array, starting with banana and finishing with orange. But in this case, for each loop is more useful and designed specifically to work uh, uh, for working with arrays. And let me show you how the syntax says for these loops works. The first parameter is the array we want to loop, and the second parameter is the value of the element into the array. And between the brackets, we can put the line of code we want to be. So we can use the last example of free array working with a for each. As you can see, the first parameter is the array. The second one could be any name for the elements into the array. And the line of code we want to be executed. And this will be the result. The for each loop will print every element into the array. Of course, we can use the break statement in the for loops. Break statement is used to jump out of a switch statement another loop, but it can also be used here. And for example, if I put this condition and that if the counter is equal to 4, the loop need to break. So this will be the result. When the counter is increment to 4, the loop breaks. So thanks for watching. If you have questions and doubts, you can reach the instructor. Have a good night.